Deep beneath the churning salt of the Mediterranean Sea, something impossible is happening. Structures built 2,000 years ago, lashed by relentless tides and corrosive salt, are not crumbling. They are growing stronger. While our modern concrete piers crack and dissolve within decades, the maritime foundations of the Roman Empire remain defiant. It is a chemical miracle hidden in plain sight, a secret buried in the ash of volcanoes and the wisdom of a lost age. We are only now beginning to understand that the Romans didn't just build for their time, they built for eternity. To understand the genius of the past, we must first look at the fragility of the present. Modern concrete is the backbone of our civilization. It is the most consumed material on Earth after water. Yet, it has a fatal flaw. Portland cement, the standard we use today, is designed for strength and speed. But when it meets the sea, the clock begins to tick. Salt water penetrates the porous surface, attacking the steel reinforcements within. The iron expands as it rusts, shattering the concrete from the inside out. Most of our coastal infrastructure is designed to last 50, perhaps 100 years. We are locked in a constant cycle of decay and expensive repair. The Romans, however, had no steel. They had no laboratory-grade chemicals. What they had was a deep observational relationship with the earth beneath their feet. The story of Roman concrete, or opus caementicium, begins in the shadow of Vesuvius. Roman engineers noticed that certain volcanic sands, particularly those found near the town of Pozzuoli, possessed a strange property. When mixed with lime and water, this ash didn't just harden, it became a rock more durable than the stones it held together. This was pulvis putiolanus, pozzolanic ash. The Romans realized that by combining this specific volcanic debris with lime and rubble, they could create a material that could set underwater. This was the turning point for an empire. It allowed them to move beyond the natural coastline and dictate where the sea ended and the city began. Before the invention of hydraulic concrete, harbors were limited to natural bays and calm inlets. But the Roman appetite for trade and naval power required more. They needed artificial ports where none existed. Engineers began constructing massive wooden forms or caissons, sinking them into the seabed. They would then fill these submerged boxes with their volcanic mixture. Unlike modern cement, which can be washed away by the current before it sets, the Roman mixture thrived in the wet darkness. One of the greatest examples of this can be found in the ancient city of Caesarea. Built by Herod the Great in honor of Caesar Augustus, the harbor was a marvel of the ancient world. They used over 24,000 cubic meters of pozzolanic concrete to create breakwaters that stretched nearly half a kilometer into the deep sea. It was a feat of engineering that seemed to defy the gods of the ocean. For centuries, scientists wondered why Roman concrete was so resilient. They looked for a magic ingredient, assuming it was a lost recipe or a rare mineral. But the truth was far more elegant. It wasn't just about what was in the concrete. It was about how the concrete interacted with the environment over time. Recent microscopic analysis has revealed a startling phenomenon. When seawater filters into Roman maritime concrete, it dissolves bits of the volcanic ash. But instead of weakening the structure, this process triggers a new chemical reaction. The salt and minerals in the water react with the lime and ash to grow a rare mineral called altobermarite. These long, plate-like crystals weave through the concrete, reinforcing it. As the sea attacks the stone responds by healing itself. The Roman harbors are not just standing, they are chemically evolving, becoming more like the natural rock of the earth with every passing century. As the Roman Empire collapsed, so did the specialized knowledge required to build such structures. The recipe for hydraulic concrete was largely lost to the Western world for over 1,000 years. During the Middle Ages, builders returned to using simple mortars that washed away in the rain. The grand harbors of the Mediterranean slowly silted up or were abandoned, their foundations remaining as silent, indestructible witnesses to a forgotten height of human capability. It wasn't until the 18th century that engineers began to rediscover the power of volcanic additives. But by then, the industrial world was moving toward the Portland model, prioritizing consistency and rapid setting over the slow, self-healing longevity of the ancients. Today, we face a rising tide. As sea levels climb and coastal cities become more vulnerable, our short-lived modern concrete is failing us. We are being forced to look back at the Roman ruins with a new sense of humility. Researchers are now attempting to replicate the Roman formula for the modern age. If we can harness the chemistry of the pozzolanic reaction, we could build seawalls that last for a millennium instead of a lifetime. We could reduce the massive carbon footprint of the cement industry by using materials that grow stronger with age rather than requiring constant replacement. The Romans didn't have the periodic table, but they had patience. They understood that to build something truly eternal, we must work with the forces of nature rather than against them. A final pan over the Pantheon in Rome, its massive concrete dome still perfectly intact after 1,900 years. There is a profound irony in the story of Roman concrete. We often view history as a straight line of progress, believing that the newer something is, the better it must be. Yet, in the harbors of Italy and the ruins of North Africa, we find proof that we have in some ways moved back. We live in a world of the temporary. We build for the next quarter, the next decade, or the next generation. The Romans built for the end of time. Their concrete is a reminder that greatness is not measured by the speed of construction, but by the endurance of the result. As we stand on the shores of an uncertain future, the stones of the past offer a silent guide. They tell us that if we listen to the earth, to the ash, the lime, and the sea, we might just build something that the future will look upon with the same wonder we feel today. The camera pulls back from a Roman breakwater until it is just a speck in the vast, shimmering blue of the Mediterranean.